Well, hello world. It is Monday, and it is time from an undisclosed location for the Jesse T Show. Now here's Jesse.
Hey. Yes, baby. I'm back with you. It is Monday in Southern California, right here on the Jesse T Show. Good to have you along as we do some light adjustment and some camera adjustment right here and make that happen for you. Hey, good to be here on a Monday in Southern California. I am feeling so much better. I'm on the recovery trail here, trying to get everything hooked up and ready to go for this Monday. And we're going to have a great week of shows as we get closer and closer and closer to, of course, Thanksgiving. No! What is it, 4th of July? No! What is it? New Year's? We are close, aren't we, when we say New Year's? Yes, no, of course, Christmas. And my goodness, that's how much I really want to forget Christmas. Bah, humbug. Bah, humbug on Christmas. Well, you know, Christmas is cool. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. There's nothing about it that's bad. I love the Christmas spirit, but it comes and goes so fast. And not only does it come and go so fast, it's so darn expensive. I mean, we're talking so much money. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like I'm still paying for Christmases from about 5 years ago. Those credit cards just never go away, right? They're like a bad cancer. They're like a bad cold. They keep coming back. They're like a bad girlfriend, like a bad boyfriend, man. They just won't leave you alone. They're like stalkers. I think that credit cards are stalkers. That's what I've come to realize. The credit card industry has built in a stalking app. It's called Debt. And it drives me absolutely insane. You work so hard to make your money, and then it goes so quick, and then you pay for it for so long. That's the bummer about it. That's a drag. I mean, it's a gift that keeps on giving. Hey, good to have you here at www.thepowerofvoices.com and www.aventertainmentlive.com. It's the AV TV Live Entertainment Channel and Digital TV Broadcasting Network in coordination and partnering up in an association. And hey, man, we're walking hand in hand in the park with the global radio network of thepowerofvoices.com. And you can check us out right here live on YouTube Live right now at The Power of Voices, as well as other social networking sites like Livestream and Periscope and Instagram and Snapchat. Now, something new here. I'm going to let Lee know about this. We have to start hooking up, my friend. Livestream is live now. Instagram live streaming is live. It's just like Facebook Live, and Instagram Live is going to take it over because it's so much easier, Instagram. And so what we can do is we can build that platform of the show now on a much more easily attainable and controllable platform where all of the next two generations have gravitated to, and branding, advertisers, marketers have gravitated to that as well. You can build contributors into your community. It's absolutely massively, and we have to get on top of that because that just broke out today. Instagram Live. So if we bridge out to Instagram Live, we can build a whole collaboration community built around branding, and then build that around branding. You get thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of likes and followers. And then with that, what happens is other companies that may want to utilize your service or your skill or your talent, they get in touch with you utilizing Instagram. It actually is better than Facebook, in my opinion. I've been tinkering around with it for about 2 weeks now. My daughter, who's like the guru of this, has kind of turned me on to this. So we have to really get on top of that. So I just kind of wanted to let you know, my friend, they're back at the studio. I meant to call you earlier today, but I figured I'd be talking to you right now. So I'll tell you and the rest of the world, why not? Our loyal listeners and viewers, they deserve to make some money too. Hey, good to have you around. If you want to give us a call at 424-227-9461, you're welcome to give us a call when you're on topic with us as we start the topics here momentarily. You can give us a call on our Power of Voices hotline, ABTV Live, to you and me on the air and everywhere, from the community to the world, as nightfall falls over Southern California and getting that Christmas spirit. Got to hide my pocketbook, though. I don't think cash is king anymore. I really don't. I don't think anybody has any cash in their pockets anymore, change. Quite frankly, I don't think anybody even knows how to count change anymore. But, that's the way our world is going, and there's not much we can do about changing that. No matter how much we wish and pray times of past would be a little bit today, it just doesn't work like that. Hey, the Brown Beauty is on duty. It's the Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday, right here from 5 to 6, as you enter the world according to Torero, Torero. I feel like the Village People. If you don't know who the Village People are, Google them. You'll figure it out on YouTube Live, I'm sure. We did talk a little bit about cash being king. And that's a topic, man, that kind of hit me today. I don't know if you guys have been following the show. If you have, I've been training really hard for what was called the Spartan Challenge 3K race at Castaic in Valencia this last weekend on Sunday, December 11th, and with like 25 obstacles. I got injured and about 2 weeks out from that and couldn't run it. And I was so bummed. So I went out and I covered the event as a sports event for ABTV News. And that's on my Facebook page at facebook.com/Jesse Torero, which you are watching right now. And by the way, don't forget about chiming in with us at www.facebook.com/The Power of Voices. Now, just some words of wisdom and some interesting little tidbits right here real quickly on how the technology works on this end. We do play an intro to the show. It's a beautiful graphic and music and stuff. Now, a lot of my friends who are chiming in right now on facebook.com/Jesse Torero, you won't be able to hear or see those graphics. And when we do play videos and stuff like that, you won't be able to hear or see those on the site right here. And the reason is because we can't make that connection. So what we've done is we have that connection for you on facebook.com/The Power of Voices as well. And also we have that connection for you at YouTube Live, The Power of Voices. It does feed back into Jesse Torero /Facebook, facebook.com/Jesse Torero. But it comes back in a delayed fashion. So you can check it out on our webpage, and it does come back in a delayed fashion. But just to let you know, those that are watching instantaneously live on my page, you'll get a delayed fashion. It comes back with all our graphics and music and stuff in there, which is kind of cool because we do add a lot of elements here that we want you to participate in. Saying hi to Alex Beverly DiPizzano. Thanks a lot, Alex, for having us on. Really appreciate that. And if you want to chime in, please chime in with us so that we can have some interaction going on. That's right. We got some love making. I should have some Barry White music or Teddy Pendergrass music or Al Green music right there. Some love music, or maybe some Smokey or Marvin Gaye or Frank Sinatra. Yeah, baby. Good to have you with us. We're kicking off Monday with a lot of energy and a lot of fun, and we've done good things in store for you. Now, we were talking earlier, I teased it a little bit, is cash really king anymore? I mean, is cash over with in our society? Is cash gone forever? Have they finally whittled it out of how we conduct our daily lifetimes? That's a concern of mine, if it is. And I'm going to explore that real quickly for a little while, and you're welcome to chime in with us. at 424-227-9461. We can take those calls. And you're also welcome to chime in on Facebook.com/Jesse Terrero and Facebook.com/Power Voices. But nevertheless, is cash king anymore? Now, I remember a long time ago when the world was much slow. Yeah, man, I remember when, everybody had some cash in their pocket. And you could get a better deal when you had cash in your pocket than if you had a check or a credit card. You could get a better deal with cash than credit. There was always a cash price and a credit price. And the reason why, of course, they would want cash, the proprietors of different businesses, is because, they may decide that they don't want to report that cash to the IRS. So, they could essentially kind of work around and have a little more money in their pocket. Okay? So cash deals are always better than the other deals that you'd have to have some verification of paperwork, either credit or check. But that seems to have changed over the years. In my generation, and I'm the end of the baby boomers. I was born in 1960, and so up to about 1964, 65 were the last of the baby boom generation. So I'm at the very end of it, and in my mid-50s now. So, I'm like the youngest of the last of the baby boomer generation. It's really interesting how in my lifetime, having cash in your pocket and change in your pocket really is like a surprise. I mean, it's a total surprise. When you pull out a couple 20s or 100 or 50s, some change, people look at you and go, wow. And then when you hand it over to a person at a cash register and you ask for, solid change, like you give a bill of, your bill is like $20.46, and you give them, $30.46. Because what do you want back? Figure it out. I'm not going to tell you the answer. And sometimes people don't even know how to count cash back to you in your hand. So if someone were to pay like maybe $73.50 for a product, and you gave them 100, they wouldn't know how to count backwards to give you the correct change and put it in your hand. They just ding, 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 in the cash register it goes, and ding, 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 out the change comes. And put it in your hand. So when you ask them to count it, I've had that dumbfound look, and here's the dumbfound look. That's a dumbfound look, like nothing in between the ears but air, because they don't know how to count money, because they don't have a lot of cash in their hand. That's not saying that they're stupid people. It's not saying that they don't have big bank accounts and all that stuff. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that they just don't know how to deal with everyday hand-to-hand cash. So a physical currency around the world is increasingly phased out. I think, and I was reading an article about this, because this weekend, at the Spartan Challenge 3K race that I covered. Oh, by the way, my son, out of 3,000 guys, he placed like 80. Out of 6,000 guys, he placed like 80 in the elite. And out of 3,000 guys, about 3,000 guys on Saturday alone, he placed 6 in the 60s or in the 50s. So, I mean, this was his first elite race, and he was like Roadrunner, man. Zoom! In fact, he got ahead of me, and then I realized he passed me, and then I had to run to get ahead of him by 5 or 6 or 8, 10 obstacles. And I barely caught him at 3 more obstacles coming around towards the finish, which was the Atlas ball, the wall climb, the incline wall reverse climb backwards, and then running over the fire pit and to the finish line. And he just did great, just great. And so it was exciting. Now, with that though, he had to be there at 7:30 in the morning on Sunday. That's when the race started. So he got up around 4:30, got ready, had some good calories, carbs for breakfast, and off he went. No problem getting there on time. But then he went to the parking lot, and he had pre-registered already, but the parking lot was going to want $10. He didn't have $10. Now, it's not that he didn't have $10. He had $10 on his debit card. Yeah, he didn't have $10 in his pocket. And I said to myself, man, when I was 21, there was no way in the world that I didn't have 20, 30, 40 bucks laying around the car in hidden places and in my pocket. Because cash was always important. There was no such thing as debit cards in 1981 or ATM cards. Excuse me, in 1981. Oh, yeah. I did shave my beard. That's right. You know why? Hurrah! I'm back. The Brown Beauty is back on duty, feeling good. I'm over that illness. See ya. I'm on the recovery trail. That's right. Hey, look at it. You got to get up. Like Rocky Balboa says, life knocks you down, but you got to get up. It's not a matter of who can stand tall on the mountain. It's who falls down the mountain, and are you willing to get back up and take the punch and get back up and take the punch and get back up. I took a punch. I'm getting back up. Time to shave off the mountain man beard and get ready back to this pretty face. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay, all right, enough of that. So here's the point. You always had cash when I was 21. We had checks, but when you were 21 years old and you wrote a check, the proprietors kind of, they looked at you, right? So you had a credit card, of course, and that was cool. But we always had cash. So he didn't have $10. So he finally got it together. He had to go down the street to the truck stop because that place is way out in the boonies. And he got his cash from an ATM and whatever, came back, paid the $10, but he just barely got to the start line. So he almost didn't make the start line. He had to get there and, bam, and then boom, it's off, right? So I got to thinking, is cash still king? Or are we going to live in a society pretty soon that's coming where there will be no cash transferred from one person to another? I mean, you get in an Uber car, you don't transfer any cash like a cabbie or anything. It's all done on the account that you set up with Uber by your debit card or your credit card. Now, there's a good and bad about that. In my son's case, it wasn't good. And I wonder how many cases that all of us have that we should really have cash in our pocket, but then we don't. We got to go here and get the ATM and debit cards and blah, 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 blah. And that opens up for more fraud on the debit or ATM machine, So I don't know if it's a good thing. I really don't think it is, because when you can't control your own currency and monetary value in your life, then you end up being controlled by another system that is controlled by somebody else, which essentially controls your life. And that's kind of scary to me. But we are moving into that, I think, faster than ever before. And I believe that within 10 years, we will not have cash in the hand and coin in the pocket. Already, how many of you out there already only have your debit card? You might have 3 debit cards, 3 different banks, and a credit card, but you don't have any cash. No coin. Probably a lot of you are raising your hands. I don't think that's a good thing. I think it's really a bad thing. I think it's another deceitful way that the controllers of the planet economically are wiggling themselves into your life and controlling it. Because let's face it, the power goes down, those ATM machines aren't going to work. They could yank your crank and shut your account down and then tell you a week later, oh, oops, we made a mistake. Oops, there it is. Right? Meanwhile, what do? You can't get any money out. So you see, that's the problem. And I foresee a future that once people have gotten rid of cash in the hand altogether and coin in the hand, that potentiality is there. Now, let me get to this article real fast. A physical currency around the world is increasing. Hold off on that bottom of the hour thing, Lee, just for a moment. A physical currency around the world is increasingly phased out. The era where cash is king seems to be coming to an end. Countries like India and South Korea have chosen to limit access to physical money by law. And others are beginning to test digital blockchains for their central banks. Now, these blockchains are dangerously scary, man. You're talking about tyranny all the way. The war on cash isn't going to be waged overnight. It hasn't been in my lifetime. I've seen the change. And shadows will continue in any country where citizens turn to alternatives like precocious metals or decentralized cryptocurrencies like the currency that you can do online. Although the transition may feel like a natural progression into the digital age, the real motivation to go cashless is really downright sinister when you think about it. The unprecedented collusion between governments and the central banks by creating the system, and it occurred overtly in 2008, led to bailout, 0% interest rates, quantitative easing, and a scale never before seen in human history, the control of money localized into one central area. Now, those decisions were made under duress and in closed-door meetings set aside from the visual eye. The stage was inevitably destroyed, and paper money's demise was set for the future. Sacrificing the stability of national currencies has been used as a way to prop up failing private institutions around the globe by kicking down the road yet another time. Bureaucrats and bankers sealed the fate of the financial system as we knew it in 2008. A currency war has been declared, ensuing that the US dollar, euro, yen, and many other state currencies are linked to a suicide pact to get rid of coin and dollar. Printing money and endlessly expanding debt are policies that will erode the underlying value of every dollar in people's wallets, as well as digital funds in their banks they think are solid and safe. This new war against operates in the shadows of the public ignorance, because we have not taught in school anywhere about these concepts. We have been lied to. We have been lied to and deceived that this is the way to go. It is not. Once you give up the currency in your hands, once you give that away to an enterprising group, then you have tyranny, because they can control the currency and monetary value. That's what the Rothschilds, that's what the Federal Reserve did, and that's what J.P. Morgan of Chase Bank did in 1917 when they convinced Woodrow Wilson, the president, in order to create the IRS to tax you and me, because before that, only the rich paid taxes. The poor and the middle class, there was none in 1917, didn't pay taxes. Then they created the centralized banking system known as the Federal Reserve, which is just a horrible, disgusting, satanic organization. Okay? This new war operates in the shadows of the public's ignorance, slowly undermining social and economic stability through inflation and other consequences of centralized control. As the Federal Reserve leads the rest of the world's central banks down the rabbit hole, the vortex is created and will affect everyone in the globalized economy. Peter Schiff. Now, this guy, you got to look this guy up. Peter Schiff, president of Euro Pacific Capital, has written so many books on this. The state of the financial system is focused on the long-term consequences of years of government, central bank manipulation of the fiat currencies. You got to look into this. I'm telling you guys, if you want to control your destiny and your future, young millennials, you better look into this. You better put some cash and coinage and gold and silver away. Never in the course of history has a country's economic failed because its currency was too strong. The view that a weak currency is disabled is so absurd that it could only have been devised to serve the public agenda of those engineering the descent. And while I don't blame, Peter Schiff says, policymakers from spinning self-serving fairy tales that are totally untrue, I find extreme fault with those hypnotized members of the media. They're in coercion. They're in cahoots, conjunction. They don't give us the real dope, man. They don't give us the real score. A currency war is different from any other kind of conventional war in that the object is to kill oneself. The nation that succeeds in inflicting the most damage on its own citizen wins the war. I'm telling you, cash is not king anymore. Okay? And that's bad. And that's bad. Real bad. Think about that. Think about that for a second. One day, 10 years from now, when you go take your debit card out or whatever they have on your newest device, electronic device, or if it's an RFID chip here or here, like Amazon Groceries, Amazon Go Groceries is already starting. I don't know where to look. Where am I looking? Oh, okay. That camera? That camera? Okay. Yeah, there I am. Okay. 10 years from now, when you walk through the store and you want to buy 10 New York steaks and you want to buy some kind of soda, refreshment, some potatoes, and you walk out and you can't leave because your currency has been turned off. Mortgage payments are made direct, has been turned off. And you don't even know it till it's too late. Because how many of you really read the mail, the email? If you can't touch it, you can't smell it, you can't taste it, if you can't hear it, if you can't feel it, if you can't see it in front of you, then it's not real to you. And that's what they've created, this euphoric fantasy that it's easy. Why? Ask yourself why. Coming up, a beautiful video, one of my all-time favorites by Billy Jack, the Billy Jack movie. Of course, the star Tom Laughlin. Those of you who have never seen this minute and 37-second video, you got to see it after we do the break right here at the bottom of the hour just passed. And we're going to go right into the video, Billy Jack and Tom Laughlin. It's a great video. Listen to the words. I love it. This is the Jesse T Show on ABTV Live and thepowervoices.com. Back with you in just a second.
Big Indian chief. So special, so above the law. You think you can do just as you please. I told you you'd make a mistake and I'd be waiting.
Watch his feet, man. He can kill you with his feet.
He can do anything he wants with his feet. Really think those Green Beret karate tricks gonna help you against all these boys?
Well, it doesn't look to me like I really have any choice, now does it?
No, that's right, you don't.
You know what I think I'm gonna do then? Just for the hell of it.
Tell me.
I'm gonna take this right foot, and I'm gonna whop you on that side of your face. And you wanna know something? There's not a damn thing you're gonna be able to do about it.
Really?
Really? Kill that Indian son of a bitch.
I love that. I absolutely love that. That's Tom Laughlin, everybody, from Billy Jack, the Billy Jack movie. It is unbelievable. I saw that in the early 70s. That was before Bruce Lee made his first movie. Bruce Lee was on TV with the Green Hornet, but he was not he hadn't made any of his movies. And I love that line that says, I'm going to take this right foot and I'm going to whack you on your right cheek. And there's not a damn thing you're going to be able to do about it. And the sheriff says, really? And Billy Jack says, really? And he takes a right foot and he whacks him on the right cheek. Then he commences to beating up all the sheriff's deputies, and they can't stop him. And that movie, Billy Jack series, the 3 movies that he did, those were all movies that kind of bucked the system. It was all about indigenous people's rights, or at that time they said Indians' rights. And it was all about bucking the system, why the government wasn't helping, why people weren't helping, why nobody cared, the abuse against the indigenous people. And Billy Jack was half Indian and half American. And he was a Green Beret Army veteran, combat veteran. And so he came to defend the rights of indigenous people on all reservations here in the United States of America. And so he was like their hero, and he fought everybody the opposite of way the world and America felt about native and indigenous people at the time in the in the 70s was completely different than it is now today. And he was there to fight for the injustices, like they're Superman. And he bucked the whole system, complete opposite of what everybody thought was the right thing. He went out of the box. And that scene represents sometimes what you have to do when you're put in a position that you have no other choice but to either cower down to what everybody else wants and thinks you should do, because they might be smarter, they might be brighter, they might have more money, they might be more powerful, they might have more people that gives them the right counsel according to them, etc., etc. It's just the way it is. It's always been like that. But you stand up and you believe for something, and you got to put the action to the Jackson, baby. You got to talk the talk and walk the walk, and that's what Billy Jack did. And that's kind of what that scene symbolized in that movie. It was his final, after the whole movie, it was one of his final scenes in that movie where he just had to do something extreme and out of the box, especially for that time. And martial arts in the movies of that time was just not the first thing. Billy Jack was great. Love Billy Jack. Tom Laughlin died a few years ago in his 80s. But anyhow, sort of what Donald Trump is doing. Our elect president, Donald Trump. He's kind of defying the ideas that just because Washington works like this, you got to use these kind of people in Washington. That outsiders don't know anything. That outsiders really shouldn't belong there. No matter how smart and successful they are in running businesses and things like that, they don't have a right to be there because they don't understand the politics of it all. They don't understand how to get anything really going. And because of that, because they don't understand that, then they should be really regulated to just, running their businesses and not joining politics. And that's sort of why it's been and how it's been in my whole lifetime. I asked the question, I've always asked the question, how come the only presidents that can ever be presidents are lifelong politicians and lawyers? What makes them so special that they hold the keys to all the power? Why is it that these people have the right to be able to be president and congressmen and senators? Why is it that there's more of those people, longtime Washington bureaucrats and politicians, lifelongers, than there are business people? If you actually go through the time, if you go through the history of the presidents of the United States of America, and you go back as far as you can, what you'll find out is that very few of them are businessmen, and hopefully in the future, business women. But very few of them are like that. They're all attorneys or lifelong politicians. And I've always argued the point. And the point I've always argued was simply this. We should have some fresh thinking from a businessman or businesswoman. Someone who's been in their lifelong chores, making money, creating jobs, because that's what America is. America is a business. Don't you ever forget that. It's been a business since it was an English colony. It has never changed. It is a business of making profit. That's what America is. Simply a business. Okay? And when you understand that that's what America is, then why is it that politicians and lawyers are the only ones that ever get to be president, congressmen, or senators overall? Interesting question. I think because there's a lot of inside backdoor control that keeps business people out. And Trump bucked that system, just like Billy Jack. And so he's bringing people in his cabinet that nobody likes. Everybody whines and complains because they're not part of the group, man. All right? Like Education Secretary Betsy DeVos. She's going to be the proposed Education Secretary. She's been a Michigan education activist and major GOP donor. Okay. Is an advocate who isn't a major GOP donor or DNC donor. An advocate for school choice and charter schools. That's right. This education of Common Core has got to go. She's drawn lots of conservative and liberal criticism because she's not an insider. Secretary of Health and Human Services, Representative Tom Price, for Secretary of Health and Human Services. He's a Georgia Republican who met Trump in New York City earlier this month. Longtime Obamacare critic. Yeah, out with Obamacare, except some pieces of it are really good and they cannot be ousted. That would be the wrong thing to do. But a lot of it's got to go. I mean, my health care bills are going up next year. And, it's got to go. So I think there should be more open policy negotiating. But yet there are parts of Obamacare that we must keep. Secretary Treasurer Elaine Chao, her name is up. And she previously served as a labor secretary for President George Bush. So you got a couple insiders there and an outsider. Then you have another outsider here who's completely an outsider. Secretary of Treasury Steve Mnuchin. Steve Mnuchin. He worked for Goldman Sachs and Dune Capital Management and Rat Pack Dune Entertainment. Okay, and totally outside businessman. Secretary of Commerce, of course, Wilbur Ross. He's a billionaire. He founded the investment firm W.L. Ross and Company. And so another businessman outside the norm of inside the Beltway politics. Secretary of Defense, General James Mad Dog Mattis. Absolutely the best pick. The Mad Dog. Closest thing to Patton and MacArthur we've ever had since World War II. And we've got to have that kind of guy. All right? Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Ben Carson. He's not a politician. He's a doctor. But he's smart. Okay? And outside the Beltway, shaking up the system like Billy Jack had to do. Secretary of Defense of Homeland Security, General John Kelly. Absolutely. What a great general he is. Chief of Staff, Reince Priebus. I was 50-50 on Reince. But, there he is. What about this ambassador to the United Nations, Governor Nikki Haley? And she was an argumentative in opposition to Trump. So he's even bringing people that didn't necessarily agree with what he said on the campaign trails. See, outside the Beltway kind of thinking. SBA administrator, Linda McMahon, Vince McMahon's wife. They built a multi-billion-dollar company in wrestling entertainment. It's unbelievable. Why not? A businesswoman who knows her stuff. She ran that company. Vince was just the face. A businesswoman for SBA, outside the Beltway politics. Okay? Administrator of Environmental Protection Agency, Scott Pruitt. All right? Now, hey, okay. He's an attorney general for the state of Oklahoma. He's an attorney. I would have liked to seen somebody else in that position. I didn't necessarily agree with him on some of his issues, but nevertheless, he was chosen. National Secretary Advisor, Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. Absolutely. That's it. Got to have him. Outside the Beltway. CIA Director, Representative Republican Mike Pompeo. Now, he's an inside the guy. He's kind of an inside the guy, Washington Beltway guy. And, you got to have a handful of those. So other things that are up for grabs, of course, he hasn't done Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, ExxonMobil Corporation. Why not? The guy does international business. You know the ExxonMobil Corporation is one of the largest oil corporation producers in the world. They have wells everywhere. Come on, the guy knows the politics of each one of those countries. And he knows how to maneuver them for the best deal. Otherwise, ExxonMobil would be out of business. All right. Other people up for grabs for that job, John Bolton. I like him. Bob Corker, Mitt Romney. I'm not behind that one. David Petraeus. I got no problem. I think he was railroaded way over the bound, especially when Hillary Clinton doesn't get any corrupt charges against her, but Petraeus did. Okay. John Huntsman and James Stavridis. Okay, retired admiral. Possible contenders might be Richard Haas, the Council of Foreign Relations. I don't know. I don't like anybody from the CFR. The CFR is, I got a lot to say about the CFR. Dana Rohrabacher of California and Joe Manchin are possible contenders. Secretary of Interior hasn't been named yet, but names being batted around there. Kathy McMorris, also Sarah Palin. Bring on Sarah Palin. The media has made her look stupid. She isn't. Secretary of Agriculture, Heidi Heitenkamp, Kathy McMorris, Governor Sonny Perdue, Secretary of Energy, possible Rick Perry, Joe Manchin. Hey, Rick Perry did a great job as governor of Texas. He turned that state around. Former Alaskan governor, maybe Sarah Palin up for that one. Secretary of Veteran Affairs, maybe Sarah Palin, Scott Brown. I'd like to see maybe Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. I think you need somebody out of the military involved in the Veterans Affairs, in my opinion. But these are some of the people kind of bucking the system. And that's what you got to do sometimes, just like Billy Jack. It's the Jesse T Show here, Monday through Friday, right here on thepowerofvoices.com and ABTV Live, the digital TV broadcasting network, and our global radio broadcasting network, The Power of Voices, on YouTube Live, facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, and facebook.com/Power of Voices. It's the Jesse T Show, and good to have you along with us. Always like to hear your remarks. Chime in anytime you want, and the phone is available for any calls. And if you would like to make that call, please go ahead, 424-227-9461. Now, we don't do a lot of call-ins here, but we're going to start doing some more call-in here through this next year, 2017, as our show develops and grows even more. So, you might want to keep that on, on the agenda. So how is Trump really doing right now? He's not even president yet. Well, the Dow, S&P, and transports closed at all-time highs as stock surges, and again, more than 1%. It's unbelievable. SoftBank pledges to invest $50 billion in U.S. and 50,000 jobs after meeting with Trump. I mean, come on. These are good things. Jobs is what it's out. Ford is going to make the brand new Bronco. Yes, I love the Ford Bronco. It's one of the few Ford cars that I really like. And when they discontinue that, man, you should see the new Ford 2017 Bronco. I would love to have a Bronco. And they're going to make it. They're going to reopen one of their Detroit, Michigan plants. That's worth 10,000 jobs. Unbelievable, huh? Yeah. How about the steel industry coming back? American jobs back to the United States. That's worth another 10,000 jobs just because of Trump. CEO Mario Longia told CNBC on Wednesday, and he's the CEO of United States Steel, that he wants to bring 10,000 jobs back. And under Trump, he's so excited that he's going to be able to do this. It's unbelievable, the things that this guy's created. He's not even president yet. It's an optimism on economy. Stock market surges. It's an optimism we haven't had for a long time. The CNBC poll, All-American Economic Survey, for the fourth quarter found that the percentage of Americans who believe the economy will get better in the next year jumped 17% to 42% of the American public believes that that jobs will get better. See, that's what it's all about. Like Rocky Balboa said, it doesn't matter whether you get knocked down. It doesn't matter whether you take the punch. The world is a tough place. You take the punch and you get back up. That's what matters. You take the punch and you get back up, and you never stop getting back up until you can't take any more punches and they knock you out and you go to God. You take the punch and you get back up. And this country has been taking punches for 40 years on our economy. But we, the people, put a president-elect back in the presidency that look what he's doing on job creation already. And America is a business. Come on, all you whiners and crybabies. Let it go. This electoral stuff, popular vote, what a bunch of crybabies. Go to Foster Freeze and get yourself a snow cone dipped in chocolate. Eat some bubble gum and go whine to a tree. Get away from me. I'm not even going to talk about that anymore. So silly and ridiculous. This man is already creating tens of thousands of jobs. Carrier, Ford, more companies in Indiana that wanted to leave are coming back. Go read the Mexican newspapers, not the American version. Go read the Guatemalan newspapers translated into English. Mexico says, yeah, man, we got a wall and we're going to build that wall. They say completely something opposite the president does in their own papers. Come on, folks. Please. That's because people are feeling good. And when people feel good, they go out looking for more work. And when people feel good and go out looking for more work, they find jobs. And when the jobs are available for them that are worthy of their efforts and their education and their hard labor and sweat and their guts and their dedication, they get hired. And that's what happens, and our economy gets robust. Hey, this is going to take a couple years to happen. We've had 40 years of going down the sewer pit under Clinton, under Bush 1, Clinton, Bush 2, Obama, the worst. You know, this is what how I rate the presidents after Reagan. Bush 1, evil, satanic, lying, backstabbing, lousy, no good, rotten, self-centered, greedy, and I don't care whether you live or die guy. He was the head of the CIA. Come on. What do you think they do? His daddy started the CIA. Clinton. Oh, man. Party boy. Party! Party, man. Party! And with Hillary doing all the dirty work. Right? Bush 2. Stupid, dumb, idiot. Okay? Whatever daddy says, baby does. That's simple. Okay? And that's what he did. Just as bad as his dad, man. They killed 2,000-3,000 people. They killed thousands of American men and women. For what? For nothing. But Obama, deceitful liar who had to move to the middle. I remember this. All presidents have to move to the middle at some time in their presidency. They all move to the middle. Every single president we've had has moved to the middle, except for FDR and Theodore Roosevelt and Abraham Lincoln. They have to move to the middle. Why? Because they have to bring the nation together in a consensus, especially the modern day presidents. Hey, this is the Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday, right here, 5 to 6 o'clock. Good to have you along with me. It's Jesse T. Can't help but being me, Jesse T. That's who I am. Got no beard. I'm red hot and rolling, baby. We are out there on the run now, looking for some fun. And it's good to have you along with us Monday through Friday. We want you to stick around and be a part of the show. Call in when we ask you to, if you can, 424-227-9461. Chime in anytime you want to chime in. And we'd love to see you there and pass the word around and share us out to everybody. Okay? Hey, have a great Monday night. Get that shopping done. Pay it with cash, if you can. The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya. Bada bing, bada boom.